On today's episode of Chicago Bears Now, I am going to take a look at some cut candidates for the Bears. We'll focus on 5 players, then a couple of long shot options that we'll get to as well, but I don't think those are very likely whatsoever. In terms of the Bears' offseason outlook, Spotrac says the Bears have roughly $3.5 million in cap space. Clearly, that's not much to operate with. That won't even cover the draft. So roster moves will be made. Both Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles said that, quote, big decisions are coming. When it comes to the roster, that means guys that could cut, guys that could trade, guys they could trade for, so on and so forth, restructuring contracts. And by the way, just a little teaser, we will do a video explaining how they could create a ton more cap space. But in general today, we're just going to focus on players that they could cut. Let's start with the big one, and I think one that's going to, be in the rumor mill until it does or does not happen. I do think it will happen. That is Tremaine Edmunds, who just finished his 3rd year of a 4-year contract. Honestly, to start this season, he was playing really well. Then he got injured, and when he came back, just wasn't the same guy. And overall, his Bears tenure, he has not lived up to that 4-year, $72 million contract. The reality is his cap hit is over $17 million, and you save $15 million if you cut him. I think that's a pretty easy decision. Now, he seems to really like Chicago. Would he be willing to take a pay cut of like, hey, Tremaine, we save 15 by cutting you. You want to cut down 10 of that 15 and stay here in Chicago? I don't know if he would do that. He would probably be advised against that because if he did hit free agency, someone would give him a decent contract. He's still a solid player. But I think other than a significant pay cut, just cutting him outright, unless a team wants to trade for that contract, is the most likely outcome. TJ Edwards, who got extended last year, they can't really move off his money until at least 2027. And he's entering this offseason with an injury. And he's not the fastest, most athletic linebacker either. Tremaine has lost a step as the last couple of years have gone by. I think the Bears want to get faster on defense. So to me, starting both TJ and Tremaine next year doesn't really accomplish that. I think you can get DeMarco Jackson back at a fairly cheap price. You just got to get more speed at this position and more athleticism, and I think that's going to be a focal point for Dennis Allen on that side of the football. So I think Tremaine is likely cut. I don't expect him back, which is unfortunate because the way he was starting this year, it felt like he was going to be a better scheme fit, but the finish to the year was not great for him. Okay, Cole Kmet. Now, let me just throw this disclaimer out there. Cut candidates does not mean Harrison wants to cut all of these guys. I think Tremaine Edmunds is a prime cut candidate because he has not lived up to the contract and you could save a lot of money. Cole Kmet's a cut candidate given how much you can save on the contract, but to be clear, I wouldn't cut him and he should not be cut. Let's just go through some numbers, though. If you cut him pre-June 1, you would save $8.4 million. His cap hit this year is over $11 million, so you save a lot of it. Post-June 1, you would save $10 million. Now, if you extend him, which I think is a more likely scenario, a team-friendly extension, you could save up to $7.1 million in 2026 on the salary cap. I think that is more likely, or some kind of restructure or pay cut scenario. I think Cole Kmet wants to be here. He's made his money in this league. He signed that 4-year, $52 million contract or whatever it was, which he's in the middle of right now. The Bears run more 12 and 13 personnel than almost any other team in the league. Ben Johnson values him a ton in this offense. Yes, Colston Loveland's the top tight end on this team moving forward, and an $11+ million cap hit's probably a tick high for what Cole is going to be moving forward. But I think he and the Bears are going to work something out to keep him here, and I want them to because he still plays a notable role in this offense. So could you cut him to save money? Yeah, you could. Do I think it's likely? No, I do not. I think Cole Kmet will be here moving forward. Okay, DeAndre Swift. I kind of think similarly, right? Coming into this year, he was a prime guy like, yeah, after this year, the Bears could probably will cut him. But then he went out and had a career year. He played really well in this system. Rushed for over 1,000 yards, had 300 more receiving yards, almost 1,400 all-purpose yards. He was efficient, too. Averaged just under 5 yards per carry this year. Is always dynamic in space with the football. He was great. Now, does Eric Bieniemy going to the Chiefs, does that change anything? Do the Bears look at that and be like, did he max out with Bieniemy. Even if they did, I don't think he's going to fall off a cliff or anything. I still think he would be productive next year. You would save $7.5 million and only eat $1.3 million if you were to cut him. But his cap hit of $8.8 million for a guy who had over 1,300 all-purpose yards, that's a pretty reasonable price for DeAndre Swift, who's not an elite player, but he's a good back. And again, the Bears have roster needs on their defense. If you cut DeAndre Swift, okay, cool, you save $7.5 million. Are you finding a replacement at that price tag? And if the answer is no, are you spending a premium draft pick on a running back? I just think you have other issues to target. I'm more than fine rolling into next year with DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai as your 1-2 punch once again. And then after next year, when Swift becomes a free agent, then you probably just let him go, right? But I think the way he played this year fits the system. The guys seem to like him. He played well under Ben. I would run it back. I think you keep him this year at that $8 million and change. And, if you want to sign him to a team-friendly deal next offseason, maybe. But in all likelihood, he's gone next year. But I think he's here for one more year. Would you keep DeAndre Swift for 2026? I would. I want him back. I don't want to create an issue for a decent chunk of money, but not like something that's going to be astronomical and $7.5 million. I would keep him, roll with him and Monangai next year. Don't create a problem when you don't need to. All right, today's show is sponsored by Mars Men. Let me tell you about Mars Men. It is a game changer. I turned 33 years old this year, and here's the thing. Most men start losing testosterone around age 30 and about 1% every year after that. When the new year hit, I kind of treated it like a reset. I wanted to feel energized again, not worn down, especially after a long football season. So this year I'm keeping it simple, and I'm doing something natural that supports my body where it needs it. That's why I'm taking Marsman. It helps your body unlock usable testosterone so you can feel like yourself again. Marsman supports healthy T levels, energy, and stamina. It has 8 natural and clinically dosed ingredients, including vitamin D, zinc, and boron, plus more. Marsman is made in the United States and is third-party tested. You can also get a 90-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk. Worst case, if you don't love it, you can get your money back. However, 91% of users report higher energy levels, so that's pretty unlikely. For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life, plus free shipping and 3 free gifts at mengotomars.com. It's a perfect way to kick off the new year strong. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts at checkout. After you purchase, they will ask where you heard about them. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you. Bears Now by Chat Sports. All right, a couple other guys that aren't going to save you a lot of money, but it kind of feels like their time here has just run its course. Let's start with Roschon Johnson, who the Bears were really high on, and I liked the pick a few years ago as well in the 4th round. I thought it was a good value pick, good physical runner out of Texas. Only going to save $1.1 million, but he just can't stay healthy, has a concussion issue, which is a problem when you're a physical between the tackles runner, kind of limits your value because you're susceptible to big collisions when you're a running back of any type, but especially between the tackles runner. Can't stay healthy. Other injuries have popped up. I think it's run its course. I do not think he will be on this team next year. If he is, it's a special teams only role, and I'd rather just add some back late in the draft or bring back Britton Brown, who they signed to a futures deal. Travis Homer is likely going to be back on this team as a special teamer. And like we just said, unless they surprise us and cut DeAndre Swift, you got your top 2 back. So I just think going in a new direction for your 3rd back just makes sense there. Save the little money and then cut him loose. So we'll see who the 3rd back ends up being. It could be Britton Brown. Could be a draft pick. Hell, it could be some cheaper free agent. Who knows? But I don't think Roschon Johnson's a part of this thing moving forward. Is Kiran Amegadjie a part of this thing moving forward? He's only been here 2 years as a 3rd-round pick back in 2024, but they drafted him as an injured player. His rehab took longer than expected. When he did play as a rookie, it was a disaster. And this year, he was in the left tackle competition, but he faded out of that, and then he got injured again. Missed most of the season. Again, you're not going to save a lot of money, but is A, can he stay healthy, and B, is he a good football player at all? I mean, they kind of took a swing. Traitsy guy out of, was it Yale or Harvard? I think it was Yale. Out of Yale. and it just didn't work. It didn't work, and the only reason he's got a tiny chance is because Ozzy Trapillo is not going to be ready to start next year, so maybe there's a world where he can compete for that left tackle spot, but he's going to have to earn a roster spot, and I would bet that it's more likely than not that he is not on the 53 next year. Now, real quickly, some long shot cuts just based on contract. Montez Sweat, Jaylon Johnson, they'd have to be post-June 1 cuts. I don't think they're going anywhere. Number one, Montez had a solid year, and your defensive line isn't great right now, so you don't want to get rid of the best one you got. Now, is there some scenario where if you end up with Max Crosby or something like that and you need to trim some money, you could cut him loose? Maybe, but I think you could still trade Montez as well. Jaylon Johnson had a frustrating season. If you cut him post-June 1, you save a decent amount of money, but I think with Nahshon Wright likely walking in free agency, you probably just roll with him and Tyreek Stevenson. If Jalen's healthy, I still believe in him as a player. And then I think Tyreek's back too, because I don't think they're going to re-sign Nahshon Wright. So I think all three of these players are back. Montez and Jaylon could be contract restructure guys to clear some cap space, but I don't think they end up getting cut this offseason, and I wouldn't cut them based on what I know right now in terms of what the roster looks like. And so, again, kind of circles back to the first guy. I think Tremaine Edmunds is kind of the only big name, big money player that they cut because they save most of the contract, $15 million out of 17 plus, and he just has not lived up to the billing when it comes to that contract. And linebackers kind of easier to plug and play with cheaper players. Okay, there you have it. Some Bears cut candidates. Name a player that you guys think the Bears should cut. I think most of you are going to agree on Tremaine. Maybe throw a different name in there. Maybe someone I'm not mentioning. Let me know in the comments down below. My name is Harrison Graham. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're dropping videos every single day for free, so don't miss out on that. And as always, bear down.